What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Battleground Podcast. Now, normally in these episodes, we have the wrestlers kind of do a quick intro, but me being the, I guess, technically challenged person, I forgot to hit record when I first started talking with Drew McIntyre on today's episode. So we don't have that cool intro, and we kind of started coming a little bit into the interview because I realized that I forgot to hit the record button on the StreamYard. So, yes, we do make mistakes, and I do apologize. But today's episode, we talk with Drew McIntyre. This interview was actually done a couple weeks ago, right as soon as Nashville was announced that they were going to be hosting SummerSlam. So we're going to talk about SummerSlam and everything else. Again, this was a pre-recorded interview, so this was before the news broke that Drew McIntyre is going to be on the SmackDown Survivor Series team. And so we're going to have some fun on today's episode. And real quick, if you have Instagram or Twitter, please make sure you're following us. Instagram is at Battleground Podcast. Twitter is at Battleground IHR. And if you're watching this on YouTube right now, we will throw this up there. If you're enjoying it, please make sure you click that like button, hit subscribe to the Battleground Podcast channel on YouTube, youtube.com/Battleground Podcast. And also, we have jumped to the 21st century, which is just exciting, by the way. We now have a website. So you can get everything there. You can get our merchandise. You can stay up to date with what's happening with the show. You can get episodes. You can watch episodes. You can listen to them. You can do everything on the website. And it's very, very simple. Are you ready for this? Because the website, battlegroundpodcast.com. That is the website, battlegroundpodcast.com. And real quick, want to give a quick shout out to Joshua McWithy. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. Please forgive me. But he goes on Instagram. By the way, you can follow him at Josh McWithy. Do yourself a favor. Go follow our new buddy. And without further ado, we'll go ahead and hit the theme song, and we'll get into this week's episode with Drew McIntyre. By the way, if you're listening, please give us a nice little review, 5 stars if you're on Apple. And also, again, if you're watching this interview, thank you. And like it, subscribe, and share with all your friends on YouTube. I mean, I'm sure that you're going to be seeing a lot more at Preds games.
I hope so. I had a lot of fun. Like we mentioned just briefly off the air there, it was my first ever. I've been to ice hockey matches before, generally, to promote WWE or do a little bit on the I would say the show, the game. Then I would leave right after. But last night was the first time that I got there at a decent time. I went with the wife and Seamus and his fiance, and we sat by the ice in the front row and got to see the game close up, and it was exciting as hell. Like the athleticism and the ability to keep going for the entire game and work with that little tiny puck the entire time with the physicality. Like it might be my favorite new sport. And I got to meet the team afterwards and meet some of the players. They're so nice. And I think they know that Seamus and I being at the game equals luck since they won 3-1. So we're gonna have to make it a regular thing.
I think that's got to be a regular thing, especially Nashville is the most talked about thing right now in the world of professional wrestling, because I was sitting here the other day and I got the notification that SummerSlam, which is something unheard of that's ever been to Nashville, is coming to Nashville Nissan Stadium on Saturday, July 30th of 2022. And this is something that me as a wrestling fan living in Nashville, we've never gotten something this big of a pay-per-view from WWE. We've gotten like Clash of Champions and Night of Champions, all this other stuff. But SummerSlam, that's like one of the flagpole events for WWE, and it's in your backyard now.
Yeah, it's awesome. Nashville deserve it. Like, this was always one of my favorite places to wrestle at the Bridgestone when I didn't live in Nashville. But now that I've been here for a few months, I've interacted with, the locals. Like, they truly love wrestling. They truly love WWE and deserve a pay-per-view of this magnitude. And SummerSlam is one of our big 4 of the year, and the fact it's going to be in a stadium, it's going to be in the Nissan Stadium, and I'm the hometown boy now. I'm the Scottish Warrior originally, but now I'm the Nashville Warrior, the Scottish Cowboy, the hometown boy. I'm very excited about it all. I've got my cowboy boots, got my cowboy hat, I wear the kilt. That's something I wear in real life for real.
That's amazing. Now, can we go ahead and put, like, everybody has these elaborate entrances for WrestleMania and SummerSlam. Now that you're living in Nashville, let me just throw this out there. We're going to say that you're main eventing SummerSlam. and you come out riding a horse, looking like Braveheart, down to the ring.
Love it. See, who can I get to sing me down? Like, I need something that suits Nashville. Like, I just Hank Jr. maybe or something can sing me to the ring, or Waylon Jennings. And
we got to make this happen, because I'm just sitting here thinking about it now. That
Waylon Jennings is dead. That's not going to happen.
You can get Hank Williams Jr. He's not dead.
Who we got? Who's still around from the Outlaw kind of time? That's the kind of country music that I'm into right now. That I've really been educating myself on. Who's that?
Willie's still around. You get Willie.
Oh, of course, Willie. Yeah, he'll be around forever. He'll outlive me.
He'll outlive everybody. Him and Keith Richards are the two people that will outlive everybody.
Yes, they're invincible. Like, it's like there's a quote from like Willie Nelson. What is it? Like, instead of think of the children, think about the world you're going to leave behind for the children. Think about the world you're going to leave behind for me and Keith Richards.
Because I mean, those guys will never die. They're going to outlive everybody.
There we go. Let's get Willie to sing me down to the ring.
We're gonna make sure that happens, and maybe we can get him. Maybe we can get Willie to learn the lyrics of Broken Dreams, and maybe he sings that, because everybody's been laughing.
Oh, there we go.
We'll put a country twang on Broken Dreams. So
yeah, everyone's been asking for it. They better all know the words to it. Let's make it happen. SummerSlam main event, fighting Roman for the title. Willie Nelson singing Broken Dreams to the ring. Boom, love it.
There it is. We're done. We've booked it. We're done. We're good to go.
Oh, perfect. Clip this. I'll send it to Vince.
Yeah, we'll send it to Vince. So let's talk about that, because now that you're on the Blue brand, it seems like you have some unfinished business, and I guess that you're eyeing for Roman's title.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously the inevitable goal. I want to be champion, want to be top of the brand, and Roman Reigns is not just top of SmackDown, he's top of WWE right now. He's got the years of equity and everything that he's done prior to this current run, and he's on the run of his life right now. Maybe some dodgy finishes involving his family, but nonetheless, he's incredibly talented. He's as good as he says he is. And I'm not going to start coming out and saying, you know what, I'm going to fight him next week for the title. I'm perfectly fine and been around for a long time and understand that it's all about the long game. You know, we're 52 weeks a year in WWE, and just like I started from the bottom and worked my way to the top on Monday Night Raw, I'm willing to do the same on SmackDown. I'll fight whoever I have to fight. SummerSlam's, you know, we got a few months yet before SummerSlam comes around in the Ascent Stadium. So I'm going to work my butt off till then, try and get that title match, get that huge match with Roman Reigns, and inevitably be Universal Champion.
And that's the plan. And we've got that Universal Championship sitting here behind me. So, you know, now that you're living in Nashville, when you get some free time, we'll get you to come in. We'll get you to sign that belt, because I've got a Sheamus action figure sitting over there signed by Sheamus. But I don't have any Drew signed, and now you're in Nashville, so it's a good thing, and we'll get you to sign the belt, because Sheamus didn't sign the belt last time.
Yeah, he probably tried to charge you as well.
Probably did. He was like, when he signed the action figure, he's like, "Who's this for?" And I was like, "It's for me. Like, it's for me, Sheamus. Like, we're good." And he's like, "You're not gonna sell this?" And I was like, "No, put Battle on it. I'm not gonna sell it." But yeah, it's gonna be a fun time, because SummerSlam, again, it's one of those things that you think of SummerSlam. It's up north. It's in, you know, New York. It's in Boston. It's in LA. Never heard of being in Nashville. And what was kind of the deciding factor for SummerSlam to come to Nashville?
Well, I'm sure it was, you know, a toss up between about 4 different places. Then I kicked the door in of the meeting room, and I pushed them over and said it's happening in Nashville. I don't know. Like, I'm not in those meetings. I'm just very excited that it is happening in Nashville. And if I was to hazard a guess, it's because of the great success of all our shows at Bridgestone, and because of all the fans that are here, the passion of the fans in Nashville. It's such a cool place to visit. So when you get an event like SummerSlam, people travel from all across the world to be part of it. You know, it's great for all the fans to get together and talk about the thing they love. And it's been such a long time since people have been able to fly from all over the place, all across the world, and get together. And obviously for the Nashville local economy, it's phenomenal.
Yeah. And you mentioned everybody flying into Nashville. It seems like a lot of people love Nashville. I mean, you got Broadway. It's easier to get in and out of Nashville. And it also saves you a plane ride. You just hop in your car and drive down the street, and you're at Nissan Stadium when it comes time for SummerSlam.
Yeah, it's perfect. Like, this is somewhere that people, like, since I moved here, like, my buddies suddenly have perked up, like, in Scotland and across the world. Like, hey, we're going to come visit you soon. And I'm like, wait a minute, you just want to come and, like, see all the sights around here, and you want to get down Broadway, don't you? But yeah, there's so much to do. And also for SummerSlam, when it's a big event like that, we've not just got the event itself. There's lots of fan events leading up to SummerSlam. There'll be some kind of fan access where you can meet the superstars and interact with fellow fans. And at nighttime, if you're over 21, get yourself down to Broadway and have a heck of a time. And not only that, it's over. Wait, no, I was waiting to say WrestleMania. I was thinking it's over 2 days. I was getting way ahead of myself here. Maybe next year we do SummerSlam over 2 days. I got a bit excited there and it was booked SummerSlam for 2 days. Yeah, but one wild night, and then I'll work on 2 days for next year.
Yeah, and that's another exciting thing is WrestleMania going to 2 nights. Are you a fan of the 2-night WrestleMania, or do you like the old school 1 day and call it a day?
Yeah, I'm a fan of the 2 nights. I wasn't sure if we were going to go back to the 1 night. The 2 nights was kind of based on the times we're in. That's why we did it over 2 days, give everyone a weekend to escape. Right. During the pandemic, during the COVID situation. But I did say during the interviews during that time, if you look back on them, I really hope it sticks. Like, I love WrestleMania. Everyone loves WrestleMania, the spectacle of it, but it's so huge. Like, sometimes that event goes 7 hours. As much as you love WWE and love the spectacle of WrestleMania,
right?
I think I draw the line at about 5 hours and it goes about 2 hours extra. And if you're a superstar wrestling 6.5 hours in, the fans are trying to scream, but nothing's coming out because they've lost their voice at that point. It can get a little quiet even with 80,000 people there. So yeah, I love the idea of like a whole weekend of WrestleMania, like 2, good length shows, two good 4-hour shows, but the fans are there. They're loud from the start to the finish. And not only that, once the event's over, like, that was amazing. I can go again tomorrow and experience it all again. So I'm all about a weekend of WrestleMania, and I'm all about apparently a weekend of SummerSlam because I almost get carried away and booked it.
You just want a whole weekend of wrestling. That's all you want to do. That, I mean, and
I'm just obsessed.
Here in Nashville, I'd be totally okay with 2 nights of SummerSlam, and that's the thing is, like, you go back to saying at WrestleMania, I've been to several of them, and when it was just one show, it was an all-day event. You get there, like, depending on the show time, you get there at 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and you're not leaving until midnight, 1 a.m. getting out of there. And I think breaking it up in 2 nights gives you that opportunity to have a full weekend, and it gives people that time to shine in the main event, or to be like, I was here at this one, or vice versa.
Yeah, I think it works just all around for the superstars, for the fans. You can pick your night that you want to go, but realistically, the most hardcore of hardcore fans come to WrestleMania, so you're going to both nights, and you're gonna have a heck of a time. And this year, we're at Dallas at the AT&T Stadium over 2 days. Like, Dallas is a fun place to be as well, so get yourself down there for that weekend of WrestleMania. But Nashville is a more fun place, so get yourself down there for 1 night only of SummerSlam. Stadium.
Of course, it's going to be Saturday, July 30th, 2022. Make sure you are following WWE on all social media so we can let you know. They'll let you know when tickets go on. So, of course, we'll let you know as well if you follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Battleground Podcast and at Battleground IHR. But let's kind of, I guess, dive into talking about SummerSlam being in Nashville. If SummerSlam goes well, which I know it's going to, does that put Nashville in the running to host a WrestleMania?
Yeah, of course. if and when it goes well at the Nissan Stadium, it's going to put Nashville right up there, and that'd be so cool if we can get a WrestleMania here as well. Aside the fact that I'd only have to drive down the street to be there. I've got like my kind of top 5 places I love to wrestle, like, in my head. And Nashville is definitely one of those places. We were just here recently the other week, and the fans were unbelievable. I did a televised match, non-televised match. And televised wise, you gotta stay within character and the stories, etc. But then the non-televised section at the end, you get to mess around and have fun with the crowd and not worry so much about the millions of people watching at home. You can just play with that crowd, and I had such a great time. And the fans are so damn passionate around here, and they deserve this big SummerSlam, but I know they deserve a WrestleMania as well. So let's make sure we kill it at SummerSlam, and I'll start prodding around, going, give them WrestleMania, give them WrestleMania, give them WrestleMania. Yeah.
Because that's going to be the thing. Because, I mean, if you look, a lot of people the eyes are on Nashville. I mean, the stadiums for series of the Preds playing in Nissan Stadium. We've had, the All-Star games. We've had the draft here. So it's only a matter of time before Nashville gets the Super Bowl of wrestling, WrestleMania. And I think getting SummerSlam is that step towards that.
Absolutely. I know I was pitching some crazy ideas last night when I was talking to, management of the Predators and the players. And I was like, you've obviously got your big games in the Nissan, as well as we've got SummerSlam coming up. And I think they've got a game round about the same time. And I started pitching, maybe some cross promotion here, not just your average cross promotion where, we show up at the games, etc. I imagine it more as the wrestlers playing hockey and the hockey players wrestling, some real crazy crossovers.
Great.
Don't know if WWE will go for it or if the Predators will go for it, but I've seen things way outside the box for cross promotion.
That would be amazing, and that would be one of those things that people talk about, because you see a lot of other non-wrestlers jumping into the wrestling ring, and WWE has been at the forefront of putting those people in the wrestling ring. I mean, you had LT, you had Floyd Mayweather. I mean, just think of the people that they put in that never really wrestled.
But what you've never seen is Drew McIntyre in an ice hockey rink. That's going to be the one that'll get people talking.
That's what we're going to have to try to get happening very, very soon. Now, the one other thing that I really like that WWE has now started doing is they've moved their shows to Saturday night, which is good for people overseas, because I've got some friends that are overseas and they're like, bro, I can't stay up till 3-4 o'clock in the morning on Sunday to watch this and then have to go to work the next day. Was that kind of like the deciding factor to move to Saturday nights, was just because of the overseas fans as well?
I'm sure that was part of it. Like Saturday night just makes so much more sense. Like, Sunday, historically, WWE, that's when the pay-per-views have always been on. And being somebody from overseas, I used to have to stay awake till 1-2 o'clock in the morning on school nights. I mean, I guess I didn't have to, I could have recorded it, but I was gonna. And watch those events and show up to school so tired. And I always wondered, like, man, why can't they do it on Saturdays? And that's not my department. And I can't say to them, here, we should be doing it on this day. But I'm so glad we tried. Recent SummerSlam out on a Saturday, it was wildly successful. And now it seems like going forward, we're going to do a lot more Saturday shows. We're doing a lot more stadium shows, more than ever in 2022. And I'm very happy about it. And I know our fans are so ecstatic about it. Like you mentioned, they can stay awake and sleep in on Sunday or stay awake. And if they want to watch the show and they're in America, they can go out and have a night out afterwards and talk about the thing that they love and talk about all the awesome matches, not worry about the next day. They can actually sleep in. And if you're overseas, you can stay awake late and then you can sleep in the next day. And it just works out for everybody. Yeah, and for me as a WWE superstar, it's so exciting to have those Saturday night shows, like that Saturday night SummerSlam in Vegas. When I was a kid, I used to watch the boxing, etc. in Vegas, and suddenly being part of Saturday night in Vegas as SummerSlam in a stadium, this is unbelievable. And with those Saturday shows going forward, are going to be awesome.
And that's an exciting time, because like you said, I mean, we're able to sleep in on Sunday. You could rewatch it as many times as you want on Sunday after being out late Saturday night watching it, and it's an exciting time. And again, even more exciting for Nashville people, SummerSlam is making first ever appearance in Nashville. It's going to be at Nissan Stadium on Saturday, July 30th of 2022. And Drew, real quick before we let you go, is there anything you want to tell everybody that's watching this or listening to this right now?
Well, since we're in Nashville chatting away here, I just want to say thank you all for making me feel very welcome. My wife and I love living in Nashville, Mount Juliet. Everybody has just been so friendly. We thought it was an act at first, because where we used to live, everyone wasn't so friendly, but turns out everyone's just really friendly, really welcoming. And when they recognize me from the wrestling, they don't just go, "You're that wrestling guy, that Scottish guy." They say, "You're Drew McIntyre. Here's a little bit about your history. Here's a little bit about my wrestling fandom." And there's genuinely such a big WWE fan base here. I'm so happy that we've got SummerSlam here. And don't forget, when you get along to SummerSlam, cheer your hometown boy, cheer along the Scottish cowboy, the Nashville warrior, old Drew McIntyre.
Not Sheamus, though.
No, God, no. What's the cheer for him?
Well, Drew, thank you again for coming on the show today, and we look forward to having you in studio now that you're in Nashville, and we'll get you to sign that wrestling belt when you come in.
We'll make it happen. I won't even question you or try and charge you like Sheamus.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Drew, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Cheers, buddy. Appreciate you. I'll see you again.